Thank you, Melissa, for joining us here to talk about your new book, Mother Trucker. Do you have the book handy on you by any chance? Can you show us what it looks like? Yes, that's awesome. That's the
Yes.
hardcover version, right?
Yes, this is a hardcover and then the soft cover, both the
Awesome.
same size, but yes.
Where can we get your book?
You can get my book. I've got a link on my page that goes directly to my website for the book, but you can also go to Amazon. You can go to Books and or Barnes and Noble, Google Play, just about everywhere you can find something online. You type in Missy Ryckman, Mother Trucker, you're going to come up with about 40 different ways. So
cool. Nice. I actually purchased 3 copies and we handed them out as a giveaway on Trucking Answers Live Monday show. So that was pretty cool. And one of the people that won it is actually an existing GP Transco driver. So he just picked it up from my office like earlier today.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
yeah,
you've been a truck driver for how long?
3 years.
3 years. And now you published your first book. What's the feedback been like? I mean, it's not every day you run into somebody as a trucker running into another trucker who wrote a book. So what's the response been like for you?
The response has been fantastic. As soon as I launched my book, I had several people get hold of me online. One of them was the Trucker Safety Divas, and I did a live podcast with them Saturday evening. And it's on 12 different platforms, and the outpouring has just been phenomenal. And most of them, they went ahead and read it before my interview, and just knowing that my story was a 45-year-old woman, midlife crisis, gets into trucking. My story was a little bit different than the character that I developed, just because I came in married, and my husband is the one who convinced me to do this, and then he hated OTR. And so I didn't want my character to go in with that story. But it's so relatable to so many women, especially women our age that are in the industry. And so I've had a really positive feedback from everything. And I've got another podcast next Monday with Women to Women, which is going to be on the 731 radio show. That's local. They contacted me, and the general manager of that radio station himself was like, it's going to be a Netflix series. And it's like, oh yeah, heck yeah. Melissa McCarthy's looking. So, and but yeah, I've had a really good response so far.
Not everybody has this ambition in them to write a book. It takes, well, first of all, you need to know how to write. And I can tell you that not a lot of people can write well from my experience. How did you get into writing? Was it in high school? When did you learn that you're pretty good at it and like doing it?
I've always wanted to write a book. And yes, since high school, I've always done short stories. I've done poetry, and I've always said that I'm going to write a book. And over the years, you just say you're going to do something, you have to commit to something. But I'm going to tell you, when I got into trucking and got into school, it was like, I know what my book's going to be about. And originally my book was going to be about me, the hubby, and the 2 dogs, and taking pictures and just our adventures on the road. And so I'd actually started the book, and then he up and left. And so it just kind of left me in a, I'm like, my book's going to die. And then one night I just had this thought of, you know what, I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to make it into a character that everybody can relate to. And then I went to my friends and said, hey, what do you want your name to be if I write a book? And so I changed it up completely, and I said, this is going to be it. And so me being on the road, and it happened early on in training, I knew that I was going to write. I just had to change it up a little bit. So this is it. I mean, once I started writing it, it was it. I knew this was going to be the one that I wrote about. So
how long did it take you to write it from start to finish?
Start to finish took about 8 months. And so I started a little bit on the road, but then I had a previous injury with my shoulder, and I ended up having to have surgery, and I was off work for quite a while. That's where I got all my writing done. So I ended up spending about 6 months at home pretty much every day writing. And so I got it done. So the marketing and the publishing part are the hardest part. I thought that writing was going to be hard, but this part here is just a little bit different. So.
Yeah, I learned being in marketing myself. Things don't sell themselves, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, people take that for granted. I think a lot of times creative types and the engineer types both take that for granted because they think, if I make something really cool, people are just going to, learn about it by themselves and buy it. And usually products just die by themselves if you don't do it. What are some of the things you're doing to sort of help promote this book? Because it's not that common to have a book published by a trucker, and I think it could do really well. So how are you addressing the marketing side of this?
Well, right now I'm in the beginning stages because I'm going through several other webinars of how to do it online as far as, the advertising of it online. Right now I'm doing the podcast. I also want to get into some marketing things like promotions, and I'm using Facebook right now, and I'm not too much of an Instagram girl myself, so there's a lot that I'm learning. And so I'm at the very beginning stages of saying, oh my God, what else do I need to do? So my next thing is to try to get with some of the, I've had some people ask me if it's going to be in truck stops. And so if I could figure out who I need to talk to, like, let's say people at the Loves or somebody at Pilot, and seeing somebody up in corporate, if I could put my books into the truck stops, along where the, most of like the audio, and book section. But I'm going to Books A Million locally in the next couple of weeks, and seeing about doing a book signing and seeing if they would carry my books. So there's several other things I want to learn about. Like I said, I'm not a marketing person, and so this is all new. So I'm in the beginning stages.
Yeah. What is it about trucking as an occupation in particular you think that strikes people's curiosity, so to say? Like, what is it about trucking that makes people interested in finding out more about what it is that truckers do, specifically women who are trucking? What is it about it?
I think what it is that, right now there's only about 5 to 6% of women out there. And, some companies, like my previous company I worked for, we had a larger percentage, about 12%. You didn't used to see this back in the day. You had some women, yes, but your percentage was not high. And now that I think it's more acceptable to cross the gender lines of a job that's saying, okay, you know what? I can see women out here. We see women out here doing this job, and women from all walks of life. I mean, it used to be, and I hate to say it's a stereotyped, women look rough, and, you just didn't have that. Women can be on the road looking cute, being themselves, and being able to do the entire job by themselves. I think a lot of people pigeonhole it into the fact that, oh, a woman can't do it because there's too much, it's too hard, dealing with unloading the trucks, or, getting inside of the trucks and, doing driver assist kind of things. And so I think everything's kind of changing in that fact that, okay, we're having a driver shortage in America. You know what? Women can step up to the plate and do the job that men do and have been doing for years.